Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to continue my look at the SkyCube product and taking it step by step. So this video is going to be looking at the SkyCube remote controls. As you can quite clearly see, if you've been a Sky customer already, a dramatic change in the overall layout and the look of the remote control. Sky really hasn't changed the remote apart from adding the Sky Plus functionality, but the overall shape and look of it was much the same. So yeah, this is introducing a whole new look to the remotes going forward. Now see, there's two types of remotes I have. We have the SkyCube Touch, which is what you're going to receive with your primary SkyCube box or the SkyCube Silver box, as far as I'm concerned. And you've also got the non-touch remote, which will be used for the mini boxes, and also as you do receive both as part of certainly the SkyCube install. So not everyone will be used to using a touchpad. Myself, I've been using touchpads for years on laptops and like swiping the screen, so this took a little while to get used to, but I'm actually finding I'm using this a lot more than this remote control. But people that are maybe more used to the original Sky Plus remote will prefer the actual functional buttons, but they do work both just as well as each other. So what I'm going to do, most of the functions do cross over. We're going to mainly look at the touch remote, and we'll come back to the little differences between the two of them. Because see, this is the flagship remote, if you like. So as you see straight away, the first thing you notice is the touchpad. So this is where you're going to be controlling the majority of your shows from. So when you're looking to navigate, much like your buttons on the remote control, up, down, left, right will navigate you through your menus, and you can actually push down on the touchpad to select. So think of it as your classics. Just to give an example here, I have your classic Sky Plus remote control in front of me. So when you're swiping up, that's your up button, down, down, left, right, and then your select button is just pushing into the touchpad. So that just makes it a little bit more, it's just more, I think it's quicker, to be fair. I know it sounds a bit strange, but just kind of, your finger's already on the platform, so when you move it across and you're on what you want to watch, anywhere on this pad you just push and you select your program. At this precise moment, I'm probably changing the channels and moving my SkyCube box around. So I wanted to focus on that first of all. There's a lot of functionality which I will do in another video of how to navigate the menus. That's more going to be around looking at the EPG and the overall guide. This is just really a brief summary of the functions of the remote, just looking at it. Starting from top to bottom, I did want to cover the touchpad first. But yeah, your power button. Now, one of the good things, now if you do pair your SkyCube box to your TV, as you normally do to control your volume, pressing and holding down the power button for around about 2 to 3 seconds will actually switch off both your TV and your Cube box at the same time. So no more having to go on the old remote control. Just like to give a little bit of comparison between the two. So your old remote control, you'd have to switch off your Sky box, go to TV and switch off the TV. And that's only an extra button press, but now you just have to hold this down for a few moments and it will actually just switch both the TV and your Cube box off onto standby mode. And next button you're looking at here is your search button, which is really good because I think with the amount of content that you now have on Sky, having to go into your Sky Plus, press TV guide, go to the banner and search, all you have to do now is just simply hit the search button, bring you straight to the search banner, use your touchpad to select the letters, just spell out what you're looking for. The more popular shows will be at the top. So to give an example, Arrow, if you go select A, tap it, most likely be one of the first selections. If not, just keep spelling out the word and eventually you'll find the show you're looking for. And it gives you a list of live shows, so it breaks it down. So I'll cover this more in the actual EPG guide. Give you live shows on demand, so it's a great platform to search with. Coming soon, I don't know how soon, but there is going to be, they can just see it there, I don't know, there's a microphone built in. So going forward, you are soon going to be able to do voice searching, which is going to be as long as the voice recognition works, which technology has got a lot better, especially difficult for us Scottish people, you know, our accents aren't always picked up as well. But you will soon be able to do voice search, which would be excellent. To use the voice search functionality when it is actually enabled, there is actually a little button on the right hand side, which I did actually find after recording the initial video. You'll just see it there, it's a little microphone just on the right hand side of the controller. So what you'll be able to do is push that in, and speaking to the microphone, which is just underneath the Sky logo. I think I did manage to see it there. It's a little hole there is your microphone. Now the functionality isn't available. I have tested it, but as far as I'm led to believe, that will be a feature that will be coming shortly to enable searching for content to make it a lot easier. I'm actually missing out one of the big important buttons because it's quite hard to realise it's a button. So going back quickly to your Sky Plus remote, big Sky button there, it was pretty obvious. The Sky logo is actually a button, and this is going to be used mainly for accessing your recordings. So if you just come in, switch the box on, want to see it recorded, hit your Sky button at the top, that takes you straight into your Sky Guide, and then you can find your list of your recordings all from there. Moving down, this section is for your fast forward, pause, play. So just let's go back to the comparison, it just helps people. So there's your pause, play, your fast forward, rewind. So this section here is really copying this part in the middle. It takes a little bit getting used to this. I actually found it easier to get used to the touchpad than it was getting used to the this section. So it's not a button physically. It's kind of like the original iPods. It's touch sensitive. So you tap it and it will play or pause, and you just kind of swipe to the right. Just run your thumb across it, and if you hold it down, it will fast forward. Obviously, the further you move it across, the faster it will fast forward the show. You can also use the touchpad to fast forward in some instances as well. But yeah, that does take a little bit getting used to. That's where I find some people will prefer the people that can't get used to that will prefer the other remote control. Coming back here, so this is your probably, I would say, if you're not going to be using the recordings button, the majority of the time you're going to be using your home button. So this is going to take you to the main guide, where it's going to show you my queue. It's going to bring up all the different channel listings, your TV guide. This is kind of the place to go when you first switch the box on. If you're just looking for something to watch, just hit that and it takes you to your guide. That will be covered more in the EPG guide. This is your back button, which replaces the good old backup button. And you see here, the one you probably use quite a lot. As you can see, mine is quite a bit worn out on this remote control. I've had this for a while, you can see everything's kind of wearing away. Which is one of the good things I'll say about this. Just taking a slight detour. These are rubbery buttons, these are harder buttons, so the likelihood of the numbers and everything kind of fading away, I think it's going to be less likely to wear off, which is really good, because that's one of the downsides to the original remotes, is if it gets quite a lot of use, which they do, the buttons start to wear away, and you memorise them anyway, but it's not the point. So yeah, going back to the remote control is your back button. So if you're in any programs or any menus, all you simply have to do is hit this and it acts much like the backup button. This little button here with your dots is your apps button. So when you're watching a live show, if you're suddenly wanting to find out what's happening in the news, but somebody is too busy watching their TV show, is like, oh, I want to see the news and I don't have my phone or my iPad to hand. If you press this button, it'll bring in a guide, like a little bar to the right hand side. I'll give you Sky News. At the moment, it's limited to Sky News, the weather. You've got Sky Sports News in there as well. I'm sure more apps will come going forward. But that means that you still can see your TV show. It just slides the little bar to the right hand side, and then you get all your information on the right hand side that you're looking there, uninterrupting the program you're actually watching. But I will cover that a bit more detail with the EPG guide. Quite straightforward, the next buttons. Your volume up and down, and your channels up and down, or if you are on the main screen, it will just move your banner around. We've got your mute button here and information button, which I haven't actually really pressed this yet, because always when I want to bring up the banner, I will just push the centre of the touchpad on the screen and it brings up the new search and scan banner. So I believe that may be the same option as the original remote. Press I and it'll give you some more details about the program you're watching. I love how they kind of focalised the record button here. One of the things that I was finding was quite funny on the original remote is it was kind of just off to the sides, but really now this is apart from the touchpad, it's kind of right in the middle, so it's hard to miss the record button. One of the new features actually is if you now select a program and hit the record button, it will automatically, one touch will be series link, 2 touches will just put to record a single show, and 3 touches to cancel. So the original Sky Plus, you had to press it once to record the show once, twice to set up as a series link, or press the green button in the planner, and then in fact, I'm going to correct myself there. I think you actually pushed it once to record it. It would give you the option to do it as a series link or as a one show. So they're basically just doing a little shortcut that you just have to push this button once and your series links will be set up automatically. And as always, you can always go into your recordings and change that if need be. Colour buttons don't change, so your interactive features, like say on Sky News, anything like the football, you can still use your red button. Don't really display so much the green, yellow and blue in the options screen so far, so we'll see if there's more to come with those buttons going forward. Straightforward number pad still works if you want to spell out your... So the good thing when you're doing your search functionality, you can either use a touchpad to select the letters, or you can go old school and just type in your alphabetically the name of the show, which is a lot quicker if I'm absolutely honest with you. They've actually included a source button, which I'm really glad to see. So one of the things I used to commonly get problems with is people would accidentally set remote control, and nowadays you've got that many HDMI SCART sockets still. They would quite easily switch off the channel, and they would, if they don't know how to work the TV and just so used to using the Sky remote control only, they would actually not realise how to actually find the channel itself. So the old remote control, you had to put it onto TV mode and then use the help button, but they've obviously realised that that's, for some people that's a bit complicated. So by pressing this, if it's paired to your TV, this will cycle through your HDMI channels, your DVD channels, whatever you've got set up, your games consoles. So I'd love to see the inclusion of the source button. And last but not least, I think we're going through with this controller, unless I missed anything out, which I will cover if I have. Your help button. So this is a direct link to the Sky Help app. So if you are having troubles with your Sky Q services, you will be able to press this and it'll take you directly to the Sky Q help page, which is excellent. Saves you having to go online, saves you having to get your tablet out, your phone out, push the button and it gives you some help and support. Really good when you're looking to set up the remote control. Now the engineer when they come out will actually set your remote control up for you if it is compatible with, if you find the code's compatible to your TV. So what I would certainly say is if you ever need to change the batteries and you're having difficulty, before you even phone up, before you look online, have a look at the help section and most likely tell you how to set it up. If you do find that your Sky Q remote control suddenly stopped, so you press your touchpad, it's suddenly not controlling the Q box, if you do hold down 1 and 3, it will actually take you to the section to find the tuning for your Sky Q box. And it's a little handy tip I got from the engineer as well. And also, if you are on the main TV screen and you want to see the previous show, if you tap the centre of the touchpad and hold to the right hand side, it will actually show you, much like the blue button used to do on the old remote control, it shows you your previously channel you're on. And the great thing is, and I say this will be covered in EPG again, I'm kind of repeating myself, it will actually show you a little picture-in-picture preview of the channel. But I'll cover that in a bit more detail in another video. So let's just get a little bit of a comparison then with the other controller. I say the main thing you will notice just by looking at it is not having the touchpad, but as I say, people that are more used to the old Sky Plus remote will more likely prefer this until they do get used to this, or may just use this all together. So you see the design, and they've kind of still raised this and put the arrow keys in the recessed area. No select button, just a dot, but that's generally known as your middle button anyway. The main thing I think that this will be used for is your rewind, pause, fast forward. Does take a little getting used to using the top touchpad, I would kind of guess that would be known as. But in terms of everything else, the layout's pretty much the same apart from the looks of the remote. So rather than having the whole silver touch area, these are buttons, of course, just to make you aware. So this is all like your old iPods cycling through, and this is these are physical buttons you can actually push, much like these ones. But it's great that they do give you both options, and I think that as good as the touchpad is, and this will be the one I'd like to use, and this is one I will be using, but I can see other family members preferring to use this one. And what I'm going to do is give you a little size comparison. So these are both the exact same size, same casing. This is your, as I've brought in already, your classic. This is actually one of the HD 1TB remote controls, so in case you wonder about the different colour difference. But yeah, you can see it's the classic remote control is a lot bigger. These will not work, as far as I've been made aware, they won't work with the SkyCube boxes, mainly because these work, I'm sure this does as well, on Bluetooth. So that one of the other great features which I haven't yet mentioned is that regardless of if you've got your TV in a cabinet, obviously the old remote controls you had to be pointing to the remote control at the box or reflecting off some sort of mirror or surface to get this to change channels. These will work much like the PlayStation controllers. If any of you are gamers, it's all Bluetooth technology, so these will work regardless. It just connects through Bluetooth. But yeah, so the overall, some people may like the bigger size and the form factor. I do find it really easy to hold these. I think one of the things about the classic remote is that it had kind of the shape of it held in your hand really well. But after holding this remote, this does feel really big and chunky. It's kind of like a step backwards now. It does feel like a progression. And I know not everyone will feel the same way. But this is, I mean, I've got big hands, so I really do appreciate a big remote control. But I think this is actually a really good size just for flicking and general TV browsing. And they say they're both the exact same size anyway. So general functionality, as you kind of look side by side, everything you pretty much got on this is carried over here. The main difference you probably find you are missing is the classic TV guide, box office services and interactive, but they can all be found by hitting your home button when scanning through the menu. And I say things like your TV guides and to get into your planner, they've got it all kind of mapped out. The guys have obviously sussed out how getting the functionality of this onto here. Things like your text button, which are kind of redundant nowadays, they don't really actually work. They've been eliminated from the overall look of the remote control. But I'll leave it at that, guys. If I do find any more hints and tips about the remote control, I certainly will post a separate video. But I hope you've enjoyed this. Stay tuned for more SkyCube related content coming to you, and hopefully see you soon.